Joining us now with stories trending around the world is OjyOkpe, who I believe must be preparing for Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow. She being an American citizen, Nigerian American, although they say they are stealing, some people are stealing turkeys in the US. But here, nobody is going to steal your own turkey. Just invite us tomorrow and let us have
Dr. Martin loves implication. He loves implications. Well, we have our favorite Nigerian wife right there, Bimbai Mutiri Ekpeyong in Abuja. Good morning. How are you this morning?
I want that turkey. I want the turkey.
Well, all right.
From Abuja, you are doing
all the way from Abuja, yes.
Well, Ayomide, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. And thank you, Dr. Bati, for reminding us how important tomorrow is. And the American in the room knows what to do.
Yes, we like to eat turkey with rolls, with potatoes, with...
all right.
You're up to the task.
But you know what's good? We are starting What's Trending on a good note today. Good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin What's Trending with the good news about the 24 schoolgirls abducted from the government girls' secondary school in Maga, Kebbi State, who regained their freedom on Tuesday. Although details of the rescue operation remain sketchy, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a statement, commended security agencies for the rescue efforts and expressed relief that all 24 girls have been accounted for. He also directed security agencies to intensify operations to free the remaining students still being held in captivity in Niger State. Well, here is the moment. The Kebbi schoolgirls regained their freedom.
I, Brigadier General Njima, the Commander, 1 Brigade Nigerian Army. For the past 9 days, concerted efforts have been made by all the security agencies and the Nigerian Army to rescue the school children of government secondary school, government girls secondary school, Maga, in Delco Forest, in Bagega, in Anka local government area of Kwara State. Thank you.
My name is Zena Polo from SS3A.
Okay. Student of?
GGCS Smile.
Okay. Number 1, Kenanko?
Yes. Fatima Sadism from SS2A.
Okay. Number what?
3. Mariam Usman.
Okay.
JSS3. Number 8. Maria Elias from SS3A. Number 10, Jamila Elias, SS3A.
23. 24. Is there another person? Is there just 24 of you?
Yes.
Okay, today's date is 25th, right?
Yes.
Well, this is the second major rescue in just days. First, 38 Kwara worshippers, now 24 Kebbi schoolgirls. The question now is, with over 250 victims still in captivity in Niger State, will this momentum continue, or are these rescues just the low-hanging fruit while the real challenge remains ahead? And I'll take Mazier's tweet. He wrote on X, when Tinubu tweeted that the girls have been rescued without telling us where and how, I knew something fishy had happened. You rescued the kidnapped girls and you didn't kill the abductors nor arrest anyone in the process of rescuing them. Not even a single gun battle. It's obvious Tinubu negotiated with terrorists as usual and paid to release them. The worst situation is that these terrorists will still be alive and around to abduct more people, and more peace deals and ransom negotiations will be held. Meanwhile, a startling new video has emerged suggesting that the Nigerian government and the terrorists who abducted the students in Kebbi negotiated a deal in order to secure their release. In the clip, one of the armed men is heard asking the girls about a military jet that flew over the forest where they were being held. We could also hear the girls say they can't count how many jets flew above them while they were in the forest. One of the armed men then says the government had to negotiate and ask the girls about their conditions while they were in captivity, to which they respond that the abductors did not leave them hungry and did not assault them. Then another armed man tells the girls that they will get them back safely to their parents and that they are doing this based on the deals negotiated. Now, you know, this footage surfaced shortly after the Kebbi State Governor, Nasir Idris, and the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, revealed that no ransom was paid, with the governor saying that the Kebbi State government did not pay a kobo, neither did the federal government. Ayo, you know, of course, we've seen this reaction, and I wanted to play up that video because it's been circulating on social media. I reached out to our correspondent in Kaduna State, who confirmed that that actual video, those people were the terrorists who kidnapped the girls, and actually did say that there was negotiation. There was a peace deal that occurred. All
right, so if the government is maintaining the fact that they didn't pay ransom, according to the Kebbi State governor, then what happened? Nigerians deserve to know, and we've been saying this for a long time. The reason is that if there were negotiations that were done, number one, it means that the government knows where these bandits are, where these terrorists are, number one. Number two, it means that if then some people are now acting as mediators between the terrorists or the bandits and the government. Number three is that have we changed our policy with regards to how we relate with terrorists, whereby there is a standard, we do not negotiate with terrorists? Is this the new policy direction of this administration? And there are many dangers around this. Number one, if ransom were paid, despite what has been said, it means that we are creating an economy for terrorism, bandits, and criminals in Nigeria. We are funding their lifestyle and we're perpetuating their crime because they now have more money to buy more arms and have more money to continue. And it also encourages others to go into this, because if there are no consequences, if at the end of the day what happens if I go to abduct people is that I'll get government attention, they will come and negotiate with me, nobody will be killed, nobody will be arrested. And what is the deterrent for me to take up a life of criminality? We're talking about ways to discourage these acts from continuing, and yet what we see is mollycoddling, kids' gloves in handling criminals. And this is dangerous, because if we don't deal with this, it means that we have not seen the end of terrorism and banditry. What it just means is that there will be a piece of ceasefire for a period, and then afterwards, when they feel like there's not enough money, or they want to gain the attention of the government again, they go on an abduction spree, and then we dispatch another Minister of Defense to another area to lead these negotiations. We cannot, as a nation, continue to negotiate with terrorists and bandits. The government must be seen and must do what it needs to do to ensure that Nigerians do not continue to live in fear and terror, because it can happen again and again and again. Absolutely. Kudos, but this kudos is with comma, because there are a lot of unanswered questions and Nigerians deserve answers.
Absolutely. A lot of unanswered questions, and you're absolutely right. Nigerians deserve answers. Meanwhile, amid the efforts to rescue kidnapped victims, terrorists struck again in the Isapa community in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, abducting 11 residents, including a pregnant woman, 2 nursing mothers, and several young children. According to reports, the gunmen, numbering more than 20, stormed the community with a large herd of cattle on Monday, firing shots indiscriminately and hitting an elderly woman with a stray bullet. A community leader confirmed that 11 people were abducted, with 7 victims belonging to the same family. Eyewitness account revealed that the attackers moved through parts of the town, leaving bullet holes in walls and doors, with expended AK-47 shells found shattered across the community after the gunmen fled. The latest attack comes just 2 weeks after gunmen struck the Christ Apostolic Church in Eruku, in the same local government area, kidnapping 38 worshippers who were later released. Well, this is deeply troubling. Just days after celebrating the rescue of 38 church worshippers from the same local government area, the terrorists have struck again, and in the same LGA. Now, if additional security forces were deployed to Kwara after the church attack, how did over 20 armed bandits move through the community with a herd of cattle, fire shots indiscriminately, and escape with 11 victims, including children as young as 5 years old? Now, the question is, are security forces just rescuing hostages while doing nothing to prevent new attacks? Well, presidential spokesman Bayo Ononuga, who was on our nightly news program Primetime on Monday, revealed that the Department of State Services and the military contacted the terrorists to secure the release of the 38 worshippers abducted from the Christ Apostolic Church in Eruku, Kwara State, using a non-kinetic approach. Let's take a look.
The DSS and the military were involved in the rescue efforts. They have a way of contacting them.
You mean they paid the money?
Not paying them. The security people, they know all the bandits that operate in that axis. They know them. So
what about their location? Is that known as well?
They know. I don't want to talk about the way they do their work, but I said they know all the gangsters operating along that route.
So why can't they destroy them before they go and attack these places? I don't understand why they have to come and wait.
Collateral damage. Look, our people are living around where they operate. So you can't just go there. Look, something happened some years ago in, I think, Borno State. Ran. Even in somewhere, I think Sokoto or so, when the military thought they had the right satellite connection or something, and they went to bomb somewhere, only to find out
yes, we had
they bombed the wrong people.
Yeah.
And they need to be very careful that in the course of chasing these bandits, you don't go and bomb innocent Nigerians.
Yeah, but you just said they know where they are.
I said no. They know where they operate.
Well, there it is. The government admits it's negotiated with terrorists. I mean, putting a phone call through, while Ononuga insists no ransom was mentioned and claims the terrorists cooperated. The bigger question is if security forces can track, contact, and negotiate with these criminals, why can't they arrest them before they strike? And that was the question Charles Anyogo asked Bayo Ononuga yesterday. I mean, he cannot be talking for the security forces, but he's speaking on behalf of the presidency. So he is well briefed. And this is the angst. But, you know, like they said, the United States is coming in to do this collaboration and have these, technical, advanced, communication measures that may help. But this is the angst in Nigeria, Dr. Abati. Why can't they kill them before they strike?
Well, the simple editorial point is the point that has always been made by the Nigerian government itself, namely that terrorists, bandits, insurgents are criminals. And we have laws in this country. The responsibility of government includes enforcing the law. When you don't enforce the law, you create a ridiculous situation whereby you promote the ecosystem, the quasi-economy that is being promoted by bandits and terrorists. In the case of the Kebbi girls, the girls from the government comprehensive secondary school in Maga, you saw the bandits saying, oh, they cut a deal with the federal government. What is a deal? In the case of the 38 women from the CAC church in Eruku, Kwara State, were being told that the Department of State Services knows them, and they just told them to become like Father Christmas. But we know that in reality, these bandits, these terrorists, they are not Father Christmas. They are into this business because they make money from it. Now, if they make money from it, then it will mean that government is helping their sub-economy and invariably abdicating its responsibility and putting lives and property at risk. That is not good enough. However, it's not an argument that will be appealing to the families of the persons involved, whether it's in Eruku, Kwara State, or it is in Maga, in Kebbi State, or even in Niger State. What the families involved will say is that they are happy to have their people back. In Kebbi, for example, Mr. Maruku, I think that's his name, Makuku, Mr. Makuku, vice principal of that school, died. Yeah. Now his family is wrong-footed. The family will have said, even if they had to pay ransom, they would have preferred that the man was alive. So it's a double-edged kind of conversation, but the important thing is for government to secure lives and property and make sure that we are all safe. The commercialization of terrorism is what you pointed out, namely that after some people are rescued, you have another incident, as is the case in Kwara State, in the Ishapa community, where more persons have also been adopted. I'm sure in another few days, they too will be released once either the state government or the federal government does the needful. Some people should not be making money on the top of others. All of us, as the president said, must see Nigeria as a place of safety.
Absolutely.
And the responsibility of the administration is to make this place safe for all of us, not to pay ransom, not to say we will engage in a deal or make phone calls to bandits.
Right.
They give chieftaincy titles to terrorists in this country.
Unacceptable.
In Katsina,
Completely.
one bandit.
It's a bandit
He was given
a
a chieftaincy title by the community, and people attended. Now, where was the Nigerian state? The Nigerian state should have gone there to arrest everybody.
Absolutely.
But they give them chieftaincy title. They give them jollof rice. They give them ashwebi.
And they have the Operation Safe Corridor program. Well, I'll take some more reactions. Adebanji wrote on X, somebody should please help us understand what is really happening in this country. At this point, it feels as if bandits are more powerful than the government and more important than ordinary Nigerians. Every day, our leaders come out to repeat the same lines. We know their hideouts. We know their location. We know who they are. Even the defense minister said they have located where the Kebbi girls are being held, yet nothing is being done. So what exactly is going on? How can a country openly admit it knows where criminals are, but still fail to act? Is it weakness, compromise, corruption, or something deeper that they are not telling us? Well, President Tinubu's special advisor on media, Sunday Dare, wrote on X that President Tinubu has ordered a total security cordon over the forest in Kwara State following the recent kidnappings and terrorist activities. Sunday Dare wrote in part, President Tinubu directed the Air Force to expand its air surveillance across the innermost parts of the forest in Kwara State, where it is believed the terrorists are hiding. They are to maintain a 24-hour surveillance and link up with the boots on the ground. This order equally applies to the Kebbi and Niger States axis, where many are expected to be rescued. Communities are also urged to provide timely information about strange movements and activities to aid the work of the security forces. Meanwhile, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has proposed sanctions for government officials who negotiate ransom payments with terrorists. Kalu spoke on Tuesday during a special session on national security, saying that a legislative move to prohibit ransom negotiation would help in addressing insecurity. Let's take a look.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, despite strong anti-kidnapping laws like life imprisonment, death penalty for kidnapping, the practice continues because it is alleged that government entities negotiate with bandits and pay ransom. That is one of the things that the House must investigate. Security analysts confirm that amnesty deals and peace negotiation, they legitimize violence. They embolden armed groups and undermine rule of law. The legislative solution required there is to ban unstructured amnesty negotiation and ransom payment by any government entity. Mandate criminal justice enforcement over expediency.
Ban ransom payment by any government official. Bimbai, I'd love to bring you into this conversation. I'd like your assessment of everything that we have discussed so far. I mean, starting with, Benjamin Kalu requesting that, that there should be a ban on ransom payment by government officials. Your thoughts?
Well, Oji, our constitution says that ransom payment is illegal, and they are now proposing for more legislation saying that negotiation should also be made illegal. But what have we done with that piece of law that says that payment of ransom is illegal? We can't enforce it. Why can't we enforce it? There's no political will to do so. Now, let's look at the president's statement concerning the recent spate and upsurge of kidnappings and abductions, and he used the word copycat attacks. That was his exact terminology, copycat attacks. Now, why is this happening? I see an incident happening somewhere in Nigeria. I see how it transpires. I see there are no consequences. Am I not emboldened to come and copy the act? I see that there's legislation around it, but I see that it's not implemented. The rules don't apply. So what will I do? I will not have anything that restrains me or that deters me from committing this offense. That's why we have punishments. Punishments are there to deter, not just to punish the perpetrators of crime, but to deter other people. Now, you know, it's in instances like this that's why you get a growing number of people sympathizing with Nnamdi Kanu, because they're saying that in this instance, you were able to gather evidence. You were able to even do an extradition all the way from Kenya, and you were able to go through the prosecution process and get to conviction and sentencing. So when a spokesperson to a president says, we know them, we called them, and we gave them instructions, is that not an insult to our judicial process? Because that means that in essence, you're saying that, well, you know, we can act if we would like to. So maybe the question we should be asking is, what is restraining this administration from taking the necessary action? Now, in Bayo Ananuga's case earlier, he had said that, collateral damage. And fair enough, that's an argument that may hold some water, because some people might say that the reason why Benjamin Netanyahu became known as a warmonger and a monster is because he had no care for collateral damage. He said wherever those terrorists are hiding, just raise the place down, bring it down to ground. It doesn't matter who else gets harmed in the process. So they're trying to say that, no, we don't want Nigerians to be harmed in the process, but it doesn't follow through. The statement doesn't follow to a logical conclusion, because you've rescued those who are vulnerable. Now the terrorists, the bandits, the criminals are in a position where they can be apprehended, but that's not happening. We're cordoning off areas and so forth in forest land. This is almost 3 months after there was a proclamation that we're deploying a forest guard of over 130,000 people to the various forests around Nigeria. Now we're deploying to the forest. I mean, the inconsistencies are very unfair, because the policies exist already. We do not have a lack of ideas. We do not have a lack of laws. We don't have a lack of beautiful legislation. But are the people in power, those who hold the responsibility to implement and to execute, are they willing to do so? Okay, let's argue that they're willing to do so. What is stopping them if they want to? What is the pressure? Because it now seems that there are several forces at play that are bigger than meets the eye. So we want to know, what is the pressure that is stopping them from apprehending those people, whether they be in Kwara, whether they be in Kebbi, whether they be in Niger State, wherever they are. Because it clearly seems like there's only a certain degree of political will, but there's also a part of the political will that's saying that, I don't want to make these people angry, because, you know, and this is why people now say that we're playing politics with this thing. So, you know, in conclusion, those are my viewpoints. In conclusion, I think the Deputy Speaker of the House is, you know, making great submissions. However, at the end of the day, with all these submissions, what do we do with them afterwards when they're in black and white on paper? We don't do much with them.
It has to be made into law. It has to be a law, and you know, that's the beginning of the process. Well, you know, during the same session, Alhassan Ado Doguwa, the member representing Doguwa Tundu Wada local government area of Kano State, fiercely called out the Tinubu administration, saying that if the administration cannot do the right thing when it comes to insecurity, then the National Assembly should be shut down. Let's take a look.
The country is running in blood and tears. You cannot go, the farmers cannot go to farm. Our market, our traders cannot go to market. Worshippers cannot go to mosque, cannot go to churches. then what are you legislating here? Mr. Speaker, if the government is not prepared to actually do the right thing that will protect the lives and property of our people, I urge on you, I urge on this honorable house, as a house of the people of Nigeria, to stand up to pay the supreme cost. And that is no more than to shut this house down and to call emergency on any legislative issue and wait until the right thing is taken by the government of the day. And this house must not take for granted that we are not part of the government. If the government is wanting, this institution of the legislature is a component of the government itself. We have to look inward to ourselves and see what more of oversight functions, like some members have said, are we going to make? Are we going to provide? Mr. Speaker, we can even declare legislative emergency. Close the house, shut it up. Who are you legislating for? What laws are you making when the country is running in blood?
Shut down the National Assembly. Dr. Matidogwa is a member of the APC. Some Nigerians online have commended him for calling out his own political party, which isn't something we often see. But, you know, shutting down the National Assembly, you asked me the question, why should that happen? Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's good to see that the National Assembly, members of the House of Representatives in particular, are expressing concern about a number of topical issues. Namely, Benjamin Kalu, Deputy Speaker of the House, saying, look, kidnappers, terrorists, bandits should not be given ransom because, as we said previously, that will amount to promoting the commercialization of impunity, of criminality. Anybody that is so identified as a kidnapper or terrorist should be sanctioned. We had Professor Bola Ahmed also on the same subject, saying that, look, wherever there are terrorists, government must enforce the law. We only disagreed with him on his point about getting the military to be involved. And then you have Honorable Dugura also saying that, well, if the federal government is not functioning, the National Assembly should be shut down. No, that's a wrong recommendation. It is wrong-headed. It doesn't make sense. Members of the National Assembly are representatives of the people. No matter the situation in the country, they cannot abdicate responsibility because that will amount to an abdication of responsibility. The National Assembly, as he admitted, is part of government. And it is only when they are working that they will be able to give alternative ideas, make recommendations, report the plight of their people, and also defend the interests of their constituents. It's not by running away. Now, you say he's a member of APC. I can see him wearing the Tinubu cap. Yeah. And he was saying that if Tinubu government cannot do the right thing, then the National Assembly should be shut down. No. There are other recommendations he can make. Shutting down the National Assembly is not the solution. He's wearing Tinubu camp. Yes. Yes, he's a free citizen. He can express opinion. He can criticize Tinubu. Right. So why is he not saying if the executive arm of government is negligent? Why is he not making some other more serious recommendations? Provided for in the Constitution. But the man is wearing Tinubu camp and he's saying shut down the National Assembly. Does he want time off to go and do some other things, like taking another wife, for example, since that seems to be...
Somebody said I should not laugh anymore. Dr. Can you please stop making me laugh? These are serious issues.
No, to do that, he may need time off. No, there's enough laziness already in the National Assembly. It's not to shut down the National Assembly.
All right. I was going to suggest very quickly, in line with Dr. Bati's thoughts, that rather than shut down the National Assembly, I think it's an honorable thing to do that. If members of the House of Representatives feel like this is above their pay grade, then they should resign or be recalled and let people who feel they have the capacity to handle matters right now step into the position. Rather than make suggestions around closing down the National Assembly. There are some people who have ideas as to how to fix the problem. Rather than abdicating responsibility, step down, look after your family, let somebody who is able to deal with the current issues that we have in Nigeria do that. And I've said it before, that in previous governments, during the PDP government specifically, the APC repeatedly called for the resignation of the president at the time, President Goodluck Jonathan. I hope they will also take their own advice, because if you're not able to secure the lives of Nigerians, then you should come to a point where you admit the fact that you are not able to do this job that you thought you could do, and have someone in the interest of national security, have someone else come and take on the job.
Are you saying that the president should be impeached? You are on your own. You are on your own.
Dr. Mati,
be courageous.
You are
to
putting
say what
words
you want
into
to
my
say.
mouth. Say what you want to
be
say.
courageous.
I think she
to
said
say what you want
down.
to say.
I don't think. Did you say
No, but
about
doing their
down?
work, actually, part of their responsibility of oversight. No, I'm not asking him to be impeached.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that there are many.
You use the word
No.
resignation.
I said no. Let me not be quoted out of context. I'm speaking straight. Let me not be. Please, Oji. Let me, for the avoidance of doubt. What I said, I was giving them the recommendation they themselves made to the Goodluck Jonathan administration that if he was unable to deal with insecurity, he should step down. Maybe it's time for.
Are you recommending the same recommendation now?
Okay.
Talk straight.
Just put it down.
Those who have ears, let them hear.
Let them hear. This is it. Well, all right.
Okay, we are now in the regime of paribus.
No. But I mean, when she's speaking facts, really. This is really what he said. Well, meanwhile, controversial Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, who's well known for negotiating with terrorists, says that he is prepared to personally lead an amnesty campaign for convicted IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu if the separatist agitator publicly renounces violence and shows remorse. Gumi spoke on live television saying that his position is rooted in his belief that negotiation, not force, remains Nigeria's most effective path to resolving insecurity. He claimed that the Nigerian military is not designed for guerrilla warfare and that kinetic strategy alone cannot solve the country's security challenges. Let's take a look.
Let me give an example. Now, this Kanu that was imprisoned for terrorism, for agitating that our soldiers should be killed. If the same Kanu now will show remorse and also call for peace, honestly, I will be in the forefront in calling for his pardoning and amnesty for him. Look, Shagari, our president, we are from the same actually town, or in fact related with Shagari. He gave amnesty to Ojukwu.
Well, this is quite the twist. Sheikh Gumi, who has been criticized for his controversial statements, including the empty coffins conspiracy theory, is now offering to lead an amnesty campaign for Nnamdi Kanu. That irony is thick. Gumi has been advocating for negotiating with bandits and pardoning terrorists while simultaneously opposing foreign intervention to stop those same terrorists. Meanwhile, here is a 2021 BBC interview featuring Sheikh Ahmad Gumi saying that kidnapping children from a school is a lesser evil than bandits who storm a town, ransack it, and kill people. Gumi made the comments shortly after 27 students had been abducted from a forestry college in Kaduna State. Let's take a look.
Yes, in fact, kidnapping children from school is less evil than going into a town and ransack it. Before, we are getting death by hundreds, going into town, kill anybody, children. So now they are taking children safely without killing them. You see, now they are very careful about human lives. They are becoming careful about human lives. So before, is the mission is to go into a town in which they are having problems with them and ransack it and kill everybody.
Well, Gumi's views on bandits have been widely criticized as sympathetic to criminals. He was reportedly involved in negotiating the release of the 27 students in Kaduna State in 2021. Vimbai, I'd love your comment on Sheikh Ahmad Gumi. I mean, that 2021 video resurfaced online after the 24 Kebbi schoolgirls were released, and we heard him in that video saying that kidnapping is a lesser crime than the terrorist attacks that occur while people are being killed. He's also saying that this non-kinetic approach is better than the kinetic approach. Your thoughts?
Well, Oji, I consider that an insightful broadcast, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a professional. I hope legal minds can speak on that. But I believe a precedent has been set with regards to what we do with insightful broadcasts, or what happens, according to the Nigerian constitution, to people who share insightful messages. Because as far as I'm concerned, trying to sanitize the kidnapping of innocent children should be something that is specifically prescribed for in Nigerian laws. And now this is what worries me, is that these are the characters that are being platformed. And these characters deserve no platform whatsoever. You know, when Osama bin Laden had messages to share, mainstream media never gave him a platform. You know, when all these other notorious terrorists had messages to share, mainstream media, if you watch CNN, watch BBC and all of them, they black them out. So why is BBC suddenly interested in the narrative of somebody who is promoting and trying to sanitize and whitewash the kidnapping of children? Now, as I round up, I just want to quickly say a statement on the call for the resignation of the president. And I just want to throw a question out there that, you know, with those who are interested in the resignation of the president, our constitution says that the vice president takes over. So is that an implication that Vice President Kashim Shettima is somebody who would be more able or more palatable to take the helm of affairs during this crisis? Because we do need to remember that if there's a presidential resignation, there's an order to how things flow in this country based on us being a democracy that respects our constitutionalism. So I think also we have to be careful with some of the requests that we make in the heat of this moment. But that's unless we're okay, those who are calling for this, if they're okay with the presidency of Kashim Shettima, because that's what the constitutional order calls for.
Well, I said that nobody has called for the resignation of President
Not
Tinubu.
on this table, but it's
on social media. On social media.
Social media. On this Twitter.
No, social media is the voice of the Nigerian people, and there are real people that are on social media.
Let me just also say that this differentiating of the president and vice president is interesting because they are on one ticket.
Okay.
So you cannot take the other and say that, oh, if one person, it's one ticket. The president saw him fit as a vice president and chose him. So saying that, oh, we go for this, it's one ticket. So they're under one party. I want to believe that it's the same ideology. It was on the same principles and, you know,
the
manifesto.
Law does not say if the president resigns,
yes.
the VP2 must go.
All right.
Yes, what I'm just saying. No, what I'm addressing.
Sorry, guys. I'd like for us to address
this
main topic about Sheikh Gumi. And, you know, Vimbai's comment here was very apt, talking about the fact that, you know, that was an insightful broadcast. And these are the kind of people that are being, you know, platformed to negotiate with bandits, negotiate with terrorists. He even said in one interview 2 days ago, saying that he goes into the forests with, you know, government officials to negotiate with the terrorists.
I like Vimbai's point
very
about the role of the media.
Correct.
No platform.
Whether local or foreign. You know, a lot of people come to the media, they want to just talk, and we give them the platform because we believe in the freedom of expression. But I think that the media too, in being responsible, must also use discretion. It's not everything that you put out there. A man like Sheikh Gumi, he says a lot of things that are inflammatory.
No, but he's a government negotiator, Dr. But that's what I meant.
No, it's not a government negotiator.
But he negotiates with the government officials, he says.
He's a self-appointed go-between.
So why is the government working with him?
Between terrorists and the government of Nigeria.
Why is the government working with him?
He's the one saying. He's the one saying.
No, he's not the one saying it's actually happening.
No. He's saying when he goes to negotiate, he goes with security persons.
Yes, that's what's happening.
In a country where you can hire the police, you can hire anybody.
Absolutely.
Are those persons that went to negotiate, were they hired? That's the question you have to ask. Were they supplied by the Nigerian government? Because we've been talking about government negotiating with terrorists and bandits.
This is
this is Sheikh Gumi promoting himself and saying things. And saying that it is better to kidnap schoolgirls.
That's what he said.
Rather than to go after terrorists. No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Those children, they have the right to dignity of the human person. They have the right to freedom. and nobody should come and say that you can kidnap girls.
Yes.
Now that's a lesser evil. After all, we have the Child Rights Act, we have the Prohibition Against Violence Act, we have all the laws that are there. The thing is to enforce the law. This same Sheikh Gumi says if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if he shows remorse, he will go and plead on his behalf. On what authority is he pleading? Where does he have? Who gave him the role? What constitutional authority does he have? There's a judicial process in place. We're discussing the matter, and he says he will go and get Mazi Kanu
He's going
released.
to negotiate
in his capacity as who?
So these are the conversations out there, Dr. Bat, and I love the way that you summarize that, because like we said, like, you know, Vimbai said, it's an insightful broadcast. An insightful broadcast, isn't it a crime, Dr. Bat? I don't know. I mean, you tell me, because these are some of the... That's why I said this is the irony. That's why I said this is the irony that we're seeing. Part of the charges that Nnamdi Kanu was his insightful, I mean, what they allege as an insightful broadcast.
Absolutely. Let me just say one thing, that yes, we're saying, oh, he's self-imposed or self-appointed. But the truth is that there's a kind of audacity and boldness with which he comes to speak without any question, at least that we know of, that makes you believe that there must be some sort of backing. Because by now, with what he's saying and the fact that he's admitted a number of times that he knows where these bandits are, for him to know how to go and negotiate, why have we not picked him up for questioning? And this is the double standard we talk about when it comes to the way that we address matters in some regions. And that's why the agitation is a lot when it comes to the Nnamdi Kanu case, that when it comes to cases like that, it's the same inciting to a broadcast that he was charged on and convicted on. And on another level, for many years, Sheikh Gumi has been speaking, has been inciting, and nothing seems to be done. That's where the unfairness is coming from.
Well done, Ayo. Well done, Dr. Abati. Thank you both for that. And Vimbai in Abuja. But you know, I'd love to align myself with the Deputy Speaker of the House, who says negotiating with bandits should be illegal. And that's really what is fueling terrorism in Nigeria. I'd love to thank you all.
Stop giving them chieftaincy titles.
I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Thank you very much, Vimbai, as well. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.